What is your ideal support class? For me, it's a class that can deal damage, soak damage, prevent damage, heal from damage and increase others' damage. Half of that is good if you're a cleric, half if you're a bard. But wait, why not both? And I found a build that combines the best from both classes and also a small bit of wizard. This is Aiming for Gaming, and today we're aiming for a build sharing. We will start as a Tempest Cleric. In general, you can multiclass into it at any point to get martial weapon and heavy armor proficiency, but in our case we're also aiming for a wisdom saving throw. Unlike Bard's dexterity saving throw, which affects area of effect dodging, wisdom is saving throw from generic mind control stuff such as fear, charm and so on. Our second saving throw, charisma, will save us from some spells like banishment, but in general it's useless. Nevertheless, both Bard and Cleric have it, so there is no other option here anyway. Now let's speak about our early game, the first 6 levels. At level 1 as a Tempest Cleric, we're getting Wrath of the Storm, a reaction that allows us to strike back at an attacking creature. As we are planning to be a frontliner, this is a really good addition to our toolkit. To feel comfortable in the start and fulfill support duties, we will choose Resistance, Guidance and Sacred Flame cantrips. The latter does not require line of sight, which means you can cast it even behind walls. The ability points will be allocated into Wisdom, Charisma, Dexterity and Constitution, but we will change it later once we get the necessary items. Spells-wise, you can pick whatever you want, as you can always change prepared spells. I personally prefer spells like Bless, Command, Cure Wounds, Guiding Bolt and Inflict Wounds. Together they make us a good support and damage dealer in both close and long range. At level 2, we get 1 channel Divinity charge and 2 ways of spending it. Destructive Wrath is a way to deal maximum damage when dealing thunder or lightning damage. Turn Undead does horrible things to all undead in a 9-meter radius. They will run away from you, lose all actions except dash and whatnot. At level 3, we get more Tempest domain spells and access to level 2 spells in general. Here I suggest picking Hold Person as a support spell and spiritual weapon. This is definitely one of the best level 2 spells in game, as you can choose which weapon you need depending on your enemy resistances, and the weapon itself has resistances and becomes your temporary 5th party member. Level 4 offers us an additional cantrip. I usually go with Produce Flame or Blade Ward here, and most importantly our first feat. And here we must go with Resilient Constitution. This will even out our Constitution value and add its proficiency to Constitution saving throws. And this is really important to us, as we will always be in the front line with the concentration spell toggled on, so we must make sure not to lose it. Level 5 improves our Turn Undead to deal radiant damage to turned enemies, unlocks more Tempest spells and finally, 2 great spells. One of them, Glyph of Warding, is a magical mark on the ground that can deal damage of your choice or put enemies to sleep. And the second and the most powerful is Spirit Guardians. At this point we become a powerful frontliner, as we can deal damage to anyone around by just approaching them. Radiant or Necrotic, depending on what you need. Level 6 is our last as a pure Cleric. Here we get a passive to push enemies when dealing lightning or thunder damage to them. Alright, now let's take a look at levels 7 to 11. Here we must reset our class and respec. We will start out as a Tempest Cleric once again, but this time we must dump Strength, Dexterity and Intelligence and put all the points into Constitution, Wisdom and Charisma. At this point we must be already in Act 2, meaning that we have the Elixir of Heal Giant Strength, Gloves of Dexterity and Warped Headband of Intellect. The next 6 levels we will spend on Bard. Choose Vicious Mockery and Friends, Mage Hand or Minor Illusion cantrip, depending on your playstyle. And spells such as Sleep, Dissonant Whispers and Speak with Animals. Pick the starting instrument you like. You can learn how to play to the east of the first village if you want. Level 3 unlocks Song of Rest, which is literally a free short rest, and Jack of all Trades, which boosts ability checks we're not proficient with. Learn Charm Person here, as it does not require concentration. Level 4 is where you should learn the Hold Person spell, College of Lore subclass, and improve 3 skills you need the most. At level 5, learn 1 more cantrip and spell, Blindness or Heat Metal, and pick Resilient Constitution feat once again. This time it becomes 16. Level 6 will allow your bard to refresh bardic inspiration on a short rest and increase its bonus to 1d8. Definitely pick Glyph of Warding here, you must already become good with it anyway. And finally, you're level 7 and the last Bard level you need. You and your frontline allies will get an advantage on saving throws against Charmed and Frightened. Learn Plunge Growth spell as good terrain manipulation. Then you can pick 2 spells from Magical Secrets from various options. The 2 spells we need here are Warden of Vitality and Spirit Guardians. Warden of Vitality is a spell available to paladins at level 9, we get it with level 6 Bard. It allows you to activate a healing state for 10 turns, in which you can heal yourself or any ally for 2d6 using a bonus action. And this spell does not require concentration and thus cannot be cancelled, so you can use it along with Spirit Guardians. By the way, there is a rumor that pressing the like button on this video increases the odds of successful rolls. Definitely try this! Moving on to level 8. Here we will add another multiclass, a Wizard. Learn Shocking Grasp, melee cantrip and some others you like. This cantrip will become our main attack each turn and action spender. Poison Spray is our backup melee cantrip option here. Additionally, learn Burning Hands and other spells you like here, False Life for example. Then prepare Burning Hands. The trick here is that Wizard, Bard and Cleric are all full casters, so you will get the full spell slots no matter how you spread your levels in these 3 classes. Also, as Cleric, you can prepare any spell of your Cleric level plus Tempest domain spells, which are always prepared. These spells rely on Wisdom. As Bard, you can use all spells you learned while leveling and Magical Secrets, all relying on your Charisma. And as a Wizard, you can use 1 prepared spell from the list of spells you learned, but you can learn more spells by reading scrolls at the cost of money, which is not an issue. And you will eventually get level 5 and 6 spell slots, so you can easily learn level 5 and 6 spells without getting too high levels of any of your classes. That's insane! Moreover, with the Warped Headband of Intellect from Act 1, you will get 17 Intellect, which means 4 prepared spells from Wizard. So feel free to learn and prepare whatever you like the most. Alright, time to level up our Cleric. As I've already explained what you will get at each Cleric level, just learn spells from its kit that you don't already own as Bard or Wizard. The only difference here will be your second feat. You have several options to choose from. The first one is Spell Sniper, where you must learn Eldritch Blast and use it from a distance if you cannot reach the target. Or use Sacred Flame if the target is out of line of sight. We will be using spells a lot, so the increased critical hit chance for spells is also a nice bonus. The second option, and the one I prefer, is Warcaster. It will allow us to use the reactions to cast Shocking Grasp as an opportunity attack and add an advantage on concentration saving throws, which will make it even harder to break our Spirit Guardian's concentration. The third option is to use Elemental Adept Lightning and then learn high-level spells such as Chain Lightning from a scroll to deal damage even when the enemy is resistant to lightning. Weigh the opportunity cost. My pick is Warcaster as it fits my playstyle. And finally, level 12 in total and level 5 in Cleric. Here I suggest resetting your class and repeating everything except several spells. Wisdom is your most powerful stat, and at level 12 you get access to level 3 spells from Cleric, so pick Glyph of Warding and Spirit Guardians from Cleric, as well as Hold Person. As Bard, you can pick Hit Metal instead, and Magical Secrets will be Warden of Vitality and Counter Spell. This is your way to completely stop someone from casting a high-level spell if needed, which is so good! Also, as a wizard, spend one of your prepared spells on Misty Step and later on Dimension Door. The first one is a great way to get to the best place on the battlefield, while the second one can bring both you and your other melee character there. Perfect for battle initiation. Misty Step is a bonus action, so you can activate Spirit Guardians and then teleport at the same turn. And there we go, the best supportive spells from Bard. Bardic Inspiration, Healing and Free Short Rest. Great area of effect damage from Spirit Guardians, which is almost impossible to break with heavy armor and 2 feats that protect this spell. 4 more spells from Wizards of any level you want, and level 5 and 6 spell slots to use them. And an ability to deal maximum damage with lightning spells such as Chain Lightning because of Destructive Wrath. Literally jack of all trades. Now let's take a look at the items. You can choose between heavy armor and medium armor, thanks to our Gloves of Dexterity. The best option in Act 1 is Adamantine Splint Armor for its armor class, reduced damage and immunity to critical hits. Later on you can replace it with Armor of Persistence for its legendary persistence effect. If you prefer medium armor, you can try UNT Scale Mail from Act 2, as it will get a 4-point bonus to armor class because of exotic material. Then simply replace it with Armor of Agility for 21 armor class in total and a bonus to saving throws. As headwear, use Warped Headband of Intellect from Act 1 to get more intellect and prepare more wizard spells. The shield I prefer is Sentinel Shield for even more initiative and a bonus to perception, which is a wisdom skill. In the endgame, you can replace it with Viconia's Walking Fortress for Spell Guard, better armor class and reflective shell. The cloak I use is Vivacious Cloak, as we will be getting temporary hit points from spells quite often. Our handwear is hands down Gloves of Dexterity. They give us initiative and armor if we prefer medium armor. The footwear I like the most is Boots of Speed. You can get them in Act 1 and at the cost of a bonus action you will double your movement speed and inflict disadvantage on opportunity attacks against you. That's exactly what we need for Spirit Guardians. The best amulet to me is Amulet of the Harpers, with its advantage on wisdom saving throws and ability checks. In the late game you can replace it with Amulet of Greater Health and Dump Constitution. Another option here is Amulet of the Devout, with its God's Will special effect, which allows you to use Channel Divinity ability one more time. Or, if for some reason your team members don't need it, you can equip Spellcrook's Amulet and replenish an expanded spell slot of any level to cast 2 level 6 spells per long rest instead of 1. As for rings, you can go with the Kalos Glow Ring and Coruscation Ring combo for additional radiating orbs and radiant damage. Or, if you wish to be more a support class, use Ring of Selling for more healing and the Whispering Promise for bonuses after healing others. In the endgame, you can replace one of them with Gripped Lord Ring for Create Undead level 6 spell for free and pair it with your summons from the Wizard class, such as a Conjure Elemental. The best weapon for our build can be obtained in Act 1 and is called Falar Alyuf. It's great because of its melodies. However, there is a pretty powerful alternative called the Blood of Lathander, which allows you to cast Sunbeam once per long rest. But this spell also requires concentration, so you should pick it when you don't need Spirit Guardians. Lastly, between all available bows, you can think of Bow of Awareness for more initiative or Hunting Shortbow for advantage against monstrosity type enemies. If you're playing Elf, you can think of Hellrider Longbow for even more initiative or the Deadshot for improved critical special, which doubles your critical hit chance for all your attacks. As for the party, I recommend sticking with another melee character, for example with Palak or Monk. If you want to know how to make them strong, check out my guides on these classes. Links will be in the description. The rest of the team can be a Ranger plus Mage or 2 Mages, as you don't need another support anyway. Sorcerer and Wizard will be a good pick. I hope with this guide you have achieved what you were aiming for today. For more guides, simply visit my channel and consider subscribing, it's that easy. Thank you all for watching and see you next time.